Hey guys, Bill here from Level 10, and today I wanted to talk about password managers. Now, if you ask anybody how they're managing their passwords, I would imagine they would either say, I'm not, or I've got a fancy notebook that's got all my passwords in, or I use post-it notes and stick them to my screen. Definitely don't do those things. Super insecure, and there is a much easier way. Now, if you are an Apple user and you're using the Apple ecosystem, for example, an iPhone and a Mac or an iPad, you could use the Apple Passwords app. Now, this has just been released as part of macOS 15 and iOS 18, and they've basically taken the Passwords Manager out of the Settings tab and moved it into its own application. This is really, really good if you're a consumer. It lets you create secure passwords and autofill those passwords into web pages. It allows you to set up two-factor authentication codes, so you don't need text message codes or a third-party app. And of course, all this is great if you're a consumer that uses multiple Apple devices. But what about small businesses that have a range of different devices, such as Mac, Windows, Android devices? The Passwords app from Apple won't sync across those devices, which means you won't be able to share between colleagues, or some colleagues won't be able to use the app at all. Well, there is a solution for that, and that is Keeper. Keeper is a password manager. It offers enterprise-grade security and encryption, and it offers lots of different features that I'm going to show you now. For us, we offer this as part of the Level 10 membership, which is our managed support package. Come and give us a shout, we'll show you all about it. For now, let's just jump into Keeper and see what it can do, some of the features that I think make it a better password manager for business over the Apple Passwords app. Let's have a look. So this is the Keeper login screen. So this is the Keeper app for the Mac. Now, obviously, there are applications for Windows and for Android and iOS, iPhones, etc. For today's demo, we'll just show you on the Mac. So there's a couple of things to note here. Now, this user's already signed in to Keeper, and they've set up their application already. So we've got a couple of different options to log in. The first one I'll show you is really, really simple. So we just hit Touch ID, and we'll be asked to verify our Touch ID here. Perfect. We're in Keeper already, and we can see some of our options here. Now, if we didn't have Touch ID set up, we can simply click on Next, and one of two things will happen. The first thing is you will be asked for your master password, and your master password is your one super secure password. It should be super long. It shouldn't really be very easy to guess or remember, and that keeps your vault secure. Or the second option, and this in my opinion is where Keeper really excels in terms of business, is the option to use single sign-on. So this particular user is a fictitious user. Here at Level 10 we use Google Workspace. So if I hit Next, you'll see we've already set up single sign-on for Google, and because that user is already signed into Google Chrome, it will automatically sign the user in straight away. So if we hit Next, SSO will kick in. Now, if that user has two-factor authentication set up on their Google Workspace account, which is standard, all of our Level 10 accounts do. I disabled it for the purposes of this demo, but as standard they do. It will ask you to confirm that it is in fact you that's logging in, so an additional layer of security, and we can then see our different passwords here. We'll just go in and create a new password. So we've got the option here to create new record, a new folder, a new shared folder, or generate a password quickly. For the purposes of today, we'll just go to new record, and we'll call this new system. Go back to new system. And then from here, we've got a title, which is required, which we've already typed in, and the login. If I start typing the user, it's going to notice that we're already a user on other systems, so we'll auto-populate the username. And then the password, we can do one of two things. I can start typing a password in, and it will tell me how secure that password is. And that's okay. I've just typed in some random bits of information there, and we can click on View Password there to view the password that we created. Now this really, it's given it a medium score, but it's not a password that I would use. The joy with Keeper, we just hit on the little dice, and it will generate a password for us. And if you want to see what that password looks like, it's this. It's 20 characters long, and we can change this to be as long as we like. So 44 characters. Now don't worry, you don't need to remember this, because Keeper will automatically fill your passwords on any web page that you go to. So if we use this really super secure password now, we'll pop the website address in, and let's just assume that it's the BBC. Oops. Let's just assume that it's the BBC. So the next time we go to the BBC website, you'll see that it will autofill that password for us. We don't need to worry. So if I hit save, close this down, you'll see our new system password is here. So that's stored in the vault. If we go to identity and payments, now I haven't set up the personal information section, but if we go to payment cards, we can see there's a payment card stored in here. So this is a nice way to save all of your payment information, card details. Now, obviously this is fictitious information, not real, but we can click on the eye to view. And again, with the security code. And if we hover over, we just get the little copy button, and we can copy that to clipboard, paste it into the system we're using. Security audit is really important. Again, this is something that excels over the Apple Passwords app, in my opinion. But basically, it will run through each of our passwords, tell us the last time those passwords were changed, and will also give us a password strength score. Now we can see this system, which is my not secure password, only has a fair strength. So we'll go through that in a second. If we go to Breach Watch, you'll see this basically scans the dark web and scans other areas of the internet to see if we've got any passwords that might have been breached on the web. So we know we can go in and change those passwords. Now in this case, we don't have any, which is great, but we do have a high risk password. So we should change this password immediately. But if we wanted to change that, we'd just hit edit. It's giving us that information again. And we're going to click on the password and just hit the dice, and let's regenerate a password for this. Use password, and here we go. So I can quite simply copy this information out, go to that website, which is secretsystem.com, and I can go to change my password and use a more secure password. Now when I save this, Breach Watch removes that from the list, and I've got no records at risk, which is great news. So the other thing I want to show you within Keeper is some of the security settings. So if we go here into settings and we choose the security tab, and then you've got two other options here, which is enable self-destruct and two-factor authentication. Now self-destruct is a really important feature of Keeper. And if we turn that on, essentially what happens is if your machine, your laptop, your phone, your device is stolen or lost, and somebody tries to log into your Keeper application, they have 5 attempts to do so. After 5 attempts, your Keeper vault on the local machine will self-destruct, meaning that nobody can get access to this. So the last thing I wanted to run through today was auto-filling passwords, and that can be on a login screen or a sign-up screen. So I'm using Dropbox as an example here. So we don't have an account with Dropbox for this particular user, so we're going to sign up. And we could sign up with Google, or in fact our Apple account, but in this instance we're going to use our email address, and Chrome's automatically filled that email address for us. Now you'll notice we also have the Keeper option here. That will become important in the next step. So if we hit continue, we've got our email address pre-filled. Let's put in our information here, and then if we click on password, you'll notice that it tells us here, for example, we need an 8-character password with at least a number, at least a letter, and at least a special character. But we'll go one step further and we'll make Keeper generate our password for us. So if we click on the little Keeper icon here and we select create a record, you'll notice here that it's creating a record for us for Dropbox. And all we need to do is hit on the little dice button here to generate us a secure password. What we'll do is we'll turn on autofill on page load, which means next time we go to Dropbox, and in this case it's actually the register part, so if we take that out, but the next time we go to Dropbox and we're signed into Keeper, Keeper will automatically fill that information for us. So let's hit save, and it's automatically populated that email address, and we have the option to agree and sign up. Now,